Next up. So we have Stijn de Coninck, and he's a living reality many of us are facing. How do you take a legacy system that's been customized to death and transform it into something scalable, standardized, and built for the future? As the MES and WMS project business owner at Vandewiele, Stijn isn't just overseeing software, he's leading a full end-to-end digitalization strategy. With a background in electromechanical engineering and deep expertise in automation, he's now orchestrating how MES, ERP, logistics, and production automation come together in a seamless, future-ready flow. His session is all about turning digital ambition into structured execution with just the right mix of smart business practices and user simplicity. He's also a cyclist for fun. He does 10,000 kilometers every year. So much so that his friends give him the nickname, The Machine. And Vandewiele makes machines, so the machine makes machines. And with that, please welcome Stijn.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. The role of MES in the discrete manufacturing, or in the make industry. I don't think anybody knows what's the make industry, but it's a local expression in Belgium, and we say we make machines that are used overall in the world to produce. That's the make industry, what we mean in Belgium. I would like to start my presentation with the next words. Think forward. A stimulus to look ahead and anticipate the future. Setting new standards to drive technological innovation and digital transformation. Those words embody the Vandewiele Group, where I'm working for. My introduction is already done by Jeff, but I will repeat some things. I'm Stijn de Coninck. I'm MES and WMS business project owner at Vandewiele. And my studies in electromechanical engineering. After my studies, I've started at Vandewiele. In my first years, I was focusing on automatization on the shop floor, introducing new machinery, introducing new technology in our company. And the last 2 years, my interest and my tasks were shifted to the softwares, MES and WMS. What's driving me? Result-based solutions is really my passion. Also new technologies. I'm still an electromechanical engineer. And also cycling, and that's my nickname, the machine is coming from. The Vandewiele Group. The Vandewiele Group is a worldwide machine builder, and we have 2 main pillars. The first pillar is still the textile machinery, and this is still our main focus. And for our clients, we say we would like to be a partner that's responsible for the whole process, from granulate to final carpet. So we provide our customers a complete solution. In our portfolio, we have extrusion machines. We can make the yarns from granulate. We have heat exchangers. We can improve our yarns, and at the end we can weave with the yarns or tuft with the yarns. And all those machineries we make in Belgium. So the weaving machine, the jacquard machine or the tufting machine, those machines we make in our headquarters. Secondly, we have also a second pillar, and that's then more the technology pillar. And in that pillar, we make drives, controllers, sensors and electronics. And also here we have the main focus. We make new sensors or drives to use in our machinery. So we can provide to our customers the best of the world with our machines. But of course, all those innovations, you can find them everywhere. I think in the middle, in the middle you can see the tricks with Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's not fake, it's real. And that's due to our drives that we produce in Sweden, Aros. The Vandewiele Group is worldwide, but mainly we are producing in Europe and also in Asia, but you can find us everywhere. We have about 3,800 people over the world, and 60% of our turnover is coming from the textile machinery, and 40% of our turnover is coming from the technology pillar. How can we describe our manufacturing in our headquarters in Belgium? At one hand, we call it discrete manufacturing, but I think it's more important to say it's high mix, low volume. We make not 1,000 cars a day. No, we make maybe one machine a day. And every machine is unique. Every machine is specific. So in the last 5 years, we have assembled more than 50,000 different parts in our machinery. Because we continuously innovate, we're always looking for new opportunities. So 50,000 different parts we have assembled. And a lot of them we have also produced in-house. Due to we have a unique machinery and we need to be agile in our manufacturing, our scheduling is very dynamic. Last-minute changes, last-minute options that we add to our machines, it has to pass our production. It has to be in time in our assembly. And another number I would like to share is that our data collection. We have above 3,500 parameters that we are logging today. And that's also the result of the 50,000 different parts, of course, that we need to assemble. Because every part is unique and every part has its own parameters. If you have a look to the legacy IT software, it's not new, it's already mentioned in the previous meetings. We have the ISA 95 scheme, and on top we have the management level, ERP, then we have MES, the heart of the shop floor, and then we have the SCADA, the PLCs and the machinery. And in the past we had only one business process that covers the top of the triangle. So we have one business process and all data was in it. So you can say, okay, centralized data, we can do everything with it. But it was 100% custom and really hard to maintain. And also really hard to connect new automatizations. We have done it in the past, but we are not agile anymore because it took 2 years for a new automatization. But we need to go much faster today. But if you request to the people who use it, they will always say, it's a really nice program. Why? Because the focus was on user convenience. Everyone asked some specialty, and it's 100% custom, so it was implemented. Today, we are in an agile world. If you check the news, every day we hear some big surprises. We cannot predict what will be in the news. Maybe AI will do in the future, but I don't think so. And that's why we need to do the same on our shop floor. Every day we need to expect the unexpected on our shop floor. If our client wants some new technology in the machine, we need to deliver it. We need to be ready for it, and we need to produce it. And that's the real difference between the past. We need to check in our company which business technologies we have. Every company is unique, so there will not be a copy in the world, but everyone needs to make the scheme of the architecture, which processes of business technologies I want to define. And we have, for example, supply chain, manufacturing. We have also e-commerce, sales marketing, CRM. And because you split it up in different businesses, you can also focus on it and achieve the maximum out of it. The potential benefits of each business process you need to discover and implement. It gives you also the opportunity to add new functionality to every business process. Because in the past you had only one business process, and today it explodes. It cannot follow. And the most important is combine the smart business processes with the user convenience. Because on the shop floor, everyone needs to work hard. So we cannot take away the user convenience today. We know we need to be smart, and we need to give the user a really solution that is ease in use. But we may not forget the smart business processes. At Vandewiele, if we focus only on the smart manufacturing, we have the ERP system and also the PLM system. Those are the heart, and those decides what we have to make, what we have to produce. Especially the PLM is really important for us because every machine is unique. So every machine is designed in a different way. The BOMs are unique and also evaluating. The ERP controls the supply chain. And then we have the WMS software. The WMS software is responsible for the supply chain, to keep the inventory on top, to organize the complete logistic inside the factory, but also to have the in and outs in our company. And then, of course, we have our MES software, the most important one. If we are in discussion with the WMS software, they always say, we are slave, MES is the brains of the company. So MES is the brain of the manufacturing, and it receives the work order. MES needs to execute what is scheduled on the shop floor. PLM gives information, gives instructions. How do we need to assemble the machine? What has to be the end result? But that doesn't mean that all information has to come from PLM or ERP. It's also possible that we store data in our MES software, because it's on the shop floor itself that we make the work instructions, how the operator has to work. It doesn't matter that we put that data inside our PLM. And that's also important. We need to check who is using the data, who is the master of the data, and where we will report the data. And then we can make decisions where it has to be stored, where it has to be maintained. And of course, we have the consumption and the production of our parts. That's a link between MES and WMS. So on one side, we have the business processes. On the other side, we have then the shop floor. MES communicates with our automatic lines, with the robots, but also with the machines in our factory. Different brands, different automatizations, but a lot of machines. And then for WMS, we have exactly the same. We have the automated guided vehicles. You can have AMRs. And we have also our warehouses, all automatically. We produce more than, or we have more than 50,000 different parts handled in the last 5 years. But in our company, we have only 2 forklifters. Everything is done automatically in the logistics. The final result, I think, is for everyone interesting, is then a digital passport. Every machine that is produced has a digital passport, as it built with some tests, and we have also traceability of every part that is produced in-house. So, if we have defined the functionalities of every business process, we can look further. We can have a look on the factory of the future. I know my picture is not good, it has to be dog with the supervisor, but okay. So, I think the second word is really important. We may not reproduce what we have today. No, we need to look further, and we need to be open for the future. If you copy what you have today, you don't need to change. You only need to change because you want to improve and have a look to the future. Rome is not built in one day. And the software is also not built within one day. So we need to do entity by entity, implement entity by entity. Can we predict a roadmap which entity we will do next month? No, it's not possible, because today it's possible that the unmanned truck will arrive at our factory tomorrow, but it can also be within 2 weeks or within 2 years. So instead of having a custom software, we need to focus to have a versatile software in the future that's open for new functionalities. What are the benefits for Vandewiele that we have after implementing MES software? We are open for new software, and we hope we are ready to use AI. It's not yet there, but we believe we are ready to do it and use it in the next years. We can also speed up our integrations. Instead of do every 2 years a new automatization, we can do it now 2 in a month. So we can speed up, we can be versatile. We can be agile. It's also important that instead of pulling 1 machine a day out of our production, that we are flexible within our production process itself. On every step in our chain, we can pull today. And also we have a lot of opportunities in the reports that are standard in the MES software. At the beginning of our roadmap, we had a final goal, a final plan. But we discussed also how we will reach it. How do we need to reach the final plan? And one of the topics there was we need to use standardization. We need to standardize. And if we have a look to the ISO 95, everyone knows that we have standard interface like SOAP, XML, and OPC UA. But this is a standard interface. It's not standardized. With our MES software today, we say, no, we will use a standardized interface, and we will use everywhere an API with JSON format. It's really easy to maintain. But it's not always possible, but we have on our shop floor mostly PLCs with computer functionalities. So that's the reason why we can use it. What did we learn in our end-to-end digitalization roadmap? First of all, we need to distinguish the main process with the secondary process. Everyone is telling in the beginning, I need this, I need that. And you explode. You say, what the hell, how can we start on it? How can we solve everything? And then you need to split up what's the main process and the secondary process. And it is already mentioned here on the floor. The secondary processes are today standard in the MES software. So don't focus on it, because the standard is on a much higher level than what you have today. You need to focus on your main process and implement the main process. Start small and big. That's the final goal. Every day you need to be ready to implement something new, a new software, AI, a new automatization. If my CEO is coming to me and say, I have bought this, it has to be implemented as soon as possible. Have a plan and stick to the plan. My colleagues are here, and in the beginning we had a plan, and if you have difficult moments in discussions with critical or with internal partners, sometimes they say to me, Stijn, we need to standardize. Stick to the plan. And it's really important that everyone in the teams know it and can say it on every moment during your process. And then at the end, I would say, look ahead. The past was nice, and change is really hard on the shop floor. Everyone says today, I'm fine, it goes smoothly, and I'm used to use my software as it is, and the new software cannot do what I had in the past. And maybe at the moment of go live, this is possible. And that's the reason I always say, at the beginning we will have 80% after go live. But at the end, we will have 110% of what we have today, or maybe 120 or more. And we are ready on the future. So we need to jump, we need to go forward and look ahead. The future is more beautiful than the past. That's my presentation.
Thank you. And you came in time to allow for lots of questions. Remember to load them in the app and upvote them. So we got quite a few already, so I'm glad you baked in some time to this. I'm going to start to go through them. The first question is, trends go from MTS to MTO, I'm assuming make to stock to make to order, especially with mass customization requirements being manufactured with faster and faster processes, putting additional agility requirements on the shop floor. How can MES frameworks handle this very high variance in very low volume in combination of very short cycle time, being agile to changing markets?
It's all a way of thinking. And in our factory, we say we have infinite capacity. So we pull it through our factory. And instead of pulling only the end or the final machine through our factory today with the new MES, we can focus on every level. We can pull on every level. And that's the reason why we need to switch. But that's also how we tackle it.
Okay. What level of integration are you using between ERP and MES for order entry and creation? Are BOM, bill of material, and flows managed and created through MES, given the discrete nature of your manufacturing builds?
Today, the BOM is coming from PLM, and then the flow is built up in our ERP system. That's
okay.
Today. Yeah.
Looking back, what could have eased the transformation process?
If I know it, I would use it.
You have 30 minutes to answer that one. No.
It's really important that you use the right stakeholders in your company. And if you say we will do it with only IT, it's not possible. If you say we will do it only with the guys of the shop floor, it's not possible. You need to involve every stakeholder in ERP, in PLM, over the whole company to do an implementation. That's really important also.
What came first in your case, MES implementation or ERP implementation to automate business operations? Or these two initiatives are not dependent this way? Let me ask that again. What came first in your case, MES implementation or ERP implementation to automate business processes? I guess, are they just not dependent that way?
You need to start at the beginning, and then the ERP integration is a start.
So you started with MES? Or
Yes.
you did them simultaneously?
No, ERP was before.
Okay, ERP was before.
ERP was before, and
Okay.
then MES is coming.
Share some challenges you experienced with user adoption of MES.
Quite good. And the best one are the gamers. Because on the shop floor, today an operator knows what he has to make and what he has to produce, but the strongest operators today are really the gamers, because they need to use so many programs. They need to control robots, machines, MES software, maybe WMS software. And I need to say, with the young guys, the guys who are used to use computers, I don't need to explain. We pass through the flow once, and it's fine. They come with questions to me why it's not working or what's not, the outcome is not what they expect, but I never need to repeat what they have to do because it's logic build up.
So you're saying growing up playing video games is a benefit for me?
Yes,
okay.
Also.
How have you sped up the integration to just 2 months?
Because we standardize in our communication, we have an architectural structure that we stick to. and we say we modify our automatization that fits within that architecture, and because it's a standard or standard interfaces that we can reuse with maybe some small adaptations, but that's the reason that we can speed up, and also that the setup at MES software is easy and in the same way. We can copy from existing automatization. That's the reason that we can speed up so easily.
Okay. What was the criteria to choose between PLM, ERP, or MES as the source of truth for different master data?
It's a hard discussion. Who is master? And it doesn't mean that today we have a plan that tomorrow we cannot change it. We need to be open, and we need to say I've just mentioned that flows today are created in ERP. It's possible tomorrow that we create them in PLM. That the designers say, hey, that part has to follow that flow. It's possible. And
okay.
You need to be open for it, and don't say it's fixed today. It has to stay there for the next of.
2 more short ones. Will you be adopting UNS as per Walker Reynolds' digitization drive? Maybe is an acceptable answer. What is the typical tag count for, whoop, it just changed. What's your typical tag count for your MES projects, and how do you collect these data points?
It's a roadmap, so it's really hard to say what's the tag time, but 1 year?
20? What was the last word you said?
1 year.
Oh, 1 year.
1 year,
okay.
yeah, 1 year. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take one more because I really like this one. What were the main points that made you choose critical manufacturing?
It's the best in the world.
I'll give you your $20 later. All right, let's give him a round of applause. Thanks, Stijn. Good job.